And you are now in Islamabad. So what is the story in Pakistan? You have Shahryar Khan, you have Lieutenant General Tawqir Zia, both significant voices within the echelons of Pakistan cricket. The cricket board has already come out saying they are not in favour of these proposals. Do you see Pakistan cricket establishment taking a stand formally within the ICC's echelons day after tomorrow?
Look, Pakistan is a joker in the pack at the moment. It's in a flux with its sort of controversies over the appointment of its chairman. Mr. Zaka Ashraf had been removed by the courts in Pakistan. He is now back just 2 days ago. So he's just, I don't know how much he's been briefed on the issues. He's going to the ICC meeting, and I saw somewhere in today's press that he is meeting Charles Clark. For what purpose, I don't know. But more importantly, the government has moved in the Supreme Court to have him suspended again. So whatever agreements that Zaka Ashraf or anyone else makes, will be sort of cannot be taken at this stage as being the policy of the Pakistan Cricket Board.
Final question, Ehsan Mani. You said others are also getting into this group that is being formed now after your working paper. Can you tell us who these others are, which countries they are from, if they are sort of respectable voices like yours and some of the other people who have already joined in and have signed this letter? Who are these other people who have gotten in touch with you over the last couple of days?
There have been journalists from around the world. There have been people like Paul Marsh from Australia and Tim May from Australia, both former and present heads of FICA. There have been people like Michael Atherton, who's responded to this. People like Michael Holding. So I could go on with the list, but the point is that you can judge from yourself. If you look at the media reports, there's not been much support for this proposal around the world, including India. I've had, messages from people I've never heard of in India, just saying what a terrible thing these people are doing.
But Ehsan Bhai, what is most significant is that the BCCI and its working committee a couple of days back has actually voted this unanimously, and they've said in a veiled threat that if these proposals aren't passed, they might even consider not playing ICC events. Will that not completely fracture the cricket world going forward? And is that a threat that the other countries will sort of take with lots of seriousness? Because if India doesn't play, what happens to the world game?
Look, I think here again it will expose these people who are trying to lead this thing. If India was to pull out, do you think Indian public opinion would allow that? Do you think that the Indian public opinion would allow a World Cup to take place where India voluntarily withdrew? Why? Because of its greed. So I think the Indian cricketing public is far more responsible than their board. And I've got great faith in people of India to stand up to this sort of attitude.
Right, Ehsan Mani, former ICC president, thank you so much for speaking with Headlines today. Let me go across to Pradeep Magazine right now, who's joining us in the studio. Besides, of course, these glaring questions that have in fact been raised, very rightly so, perhaps one of the more pertinent and the bigger questions is, why does the BCCI need more money at the expense of other countries?
Well, yeah, that's the question. And I think the Indian Cricket Board, and as Ehsan Mani said, the people, there are two different entities. Would the Indian public allow Indian board to withdraw from ICC events? But I think what India needs to think, introspect, is that India were the countries which led the revolt against the MCC or the English hegemony over the boards. It took the smaller nations with them, it took the nations around them, Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe. They all joined in hands to have a more democratic ICC. And now we are the ones, just because we have got so much of money, we have so much of money that we don't need more money. And we are now dictating terms, we are trying to do the same things and in fact worse than what the previous ICC or what it was known earlier were doing, which I think is something which is blatantly undemocratic, unfair, and in many ways does not represent the ethos of what India meant to world cricket.